Hello and welcome to this painting lesson. So today we're going to paint kind of an action picture of a bee just flying into a flower to do some pollinating. So you'll want 2 waters as usual. Go with a kind of a smaller brush here. This is a 1/2 inch. And I'll go ahead and get that wet in the water. You might want an eraser sponge. You might want a towel to wipe off your brush after you wipe it off. You'll definitely want a mixing palette because we're going to mix some colors. And we're going to use a lot of colors here. So lemon yellow, golden yellow, orange. Okay. And kind of a rosy red and a purple and a green and a dark blue. Now, as you know, a bee is sort of like black and yellow. We're not going to make black. I don't have black. We're going to get as close to black as we can by mixing purple and deep blue. It's actually a Prussian blue. But we're going to mix a couple of different colors here. So don't do this on your painting canvas like I am, but I'll do it to the side. I'm going to start by making a light rose red. So I'm just going to dip, maybe not even one dip there. Okay. And I'm going to get some water. And I'm just going to lighten this up a bit. Maybe 2 dips of water. Okay. Trying to get all the paint off my brush. And I'm going to make like kind of a little bit of a purpley rose red. It's kind of a darker one. And I don't really need a lot of it, so I'm going to just dip there. And I'm going to go ahead and cap my red for the moment. Look at this cool color of pink. Isn't that awesome? I just love that. So here's what I'm going to do with the purple. So I'm going to pull the purple out and let's see if I can get the top off because I haven't opened it in a while. I haven't used this purple in a while, but it's coming slowly but surely. So first I'm going to take the purple and I'm going to put some in here, okay? Maybe a couple of dips there. Maybe even 4 dips. Now, since my brush still has purple, then I can take the purple and just take a little bit here and I'll mix it into the red and it's sort of a reddish purple. And I'll go ahead and wash my brush. And I'll cap the purple. This is where we're going to attempt to make as black a color as possible. And now my water is getting purplish. Isn't that cool? Looks like tea, like berry tea. There's a tea shop locally here called Saratoga Tea and Honey. And they make a tea blend called Crimson Berry. It's the most amazing herbal blend. One of the most amazing ones I've ever had. I highly recommend it if you ever come to Saratoga. All right, so then I'm going to take my Prussian blue. Now, let's do this a little carefully. Okay. So I'm going to dip in here. I don't want to touch the purple yet. I'm going to just kind of drop some in there. Maybe use this side of the bowl. Okay. And I'm going to dip some more and drop it. And then we'll go ahead and mix that up. Okay. All right. So it's definitely going to be a bluish purple, but we'll make the best of it. All right, now that we got colors mixed, we'll go ahead and clear our palette off, or our canvas. Okay, and we'll go ahead and start with the flower here, the bud. So I'm going to go ahead with green. Yep. Just open the green. Just going to dip a little bit here, and going to make a bit of a stem here. Then we'll have the bud here, and then we'll have the bee kind of coming down here. Okay. All right. I'm going to clean my brush here. And I'm going to start now with this lighter pink, okay? I'm going to kind of paint the blossom first with this light pink. I'm going to kind of start out here, right? Because I can always then add deeper colors over this. It's got one, got another one here kind of coming, and then we kind of have another one here. I can kind of bring this down, and we'll add more variation. Now, the baser part of this flower is going to be darker anyway. So because the green is still a little wet, I'm going to wait on the rest of that. I'm just going to bring it down, not quite touch the green. And actually, I'm feeling like that's a little bit too much pink. Maybe it'll dry a little bit lighter, but I'm just going to take a little bit of that off in the middle part here. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And I'm also going to take just a little bit off over here as well. Take a little bit off. Take a little bit more off. A little bit more off there. Maybe a little bit off towards the edge. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll let that be for now. I'll wash the brush. All right, now, before we start the bee, a couple of things. All right, so we're gonna have kind of like an antenna coming in here, another one here, and we'll have the black face. Then we'll have a band of yellow, okay? Then we'll have a band of black, and we'll have wings. Then yellow, black, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of black. Or actually, I think I did one too many yellows. There's yellow, 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 black, 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 black. Okay? So, I think we'll actually start with the black. Okay? And so we're going to take this dark color here. And I'm actually feeling like this is looking a little bit too blue for me, so I'm going to actually take some purple. I'm going to take some more purple and add it in here. actually just going to pour a little purple in there. Yeah, that's more of the color I'm looking for. It's darker. I think the rest of this I need to make. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. This is why you should never mix colors on your canvas. Mr. Andrea, why did you do it? Because I was trying to show the students. All right, well, good thing we have an eraser sponge. All right. Yeah, that actually is coming off really pretty nicely. See how that eraser sponge works? Okay. So we're going to have to use our imaginations a little bit on this. Okay. Start here with a head. And it's kind of furry, right? It's a little bit furry. Okay. Now I'm going to skip a little section. And in the next section, it's going to go like here. Now, I need wings. Here's what I'm going to do with the wings. First paint one slightly here. And I'm going to lightly do this. Couple little strokes in there. Okay. Then I'm going to keep painting my furriness here. And bring the furriness down. We'll bring the furriness down beneath. Okay. Now, the next wing, do kind of up here. Just ever so light and delicate. And actually, I'm going to dip my brush in the water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a little bit of this down. See, just a little bit of that down. Just kind of muddle up the wing color a little here. Just so it gets a little bit of color in the wing, but still kind of mostly clear. Good. Let's continue. I'm dipping now into my so-called black. There's going to be another band of yellow here. Okay, and then some more furriness. Furriness is going to come down here. And it's going to kind of come to a cone. And then just finally down here a little bit more. Okay. Now, a couple little legs. I tell you what, we'll add the legs on later. Let's let that kind of dry for now. And let's go back to our flower. So go ahead and wash the brush. And what I want to do is now bring in my regular rose red color. All right. Just going to bring in this regular rosy red, and I'm going to kind of bring this down in here and over in here. Okay. So just kind of layering this a little bit. And we'll bring some of this up into here. We'll bring this down into the green. It's okay if there's a little overlap there with the green. The green is mostly dry now. And cool. All right, now we're going to let that be and let that dry for the time being. And actually, what I'm going to do, because this is all a little bit too wet to continue for the moment, is I'm going to wash my brush there, and I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to step away. I'm going to go ahead and change my waters out because we're getting pretty dark here, at least with the one on the left, and we'll come back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and we will be back in a little bit. All right, so my flower's not totally dry, but that's fine with me because I want to add a little bit of this purpley red. You can actually mix it with a little bit of that too. Yeah, and just going to add a little bit of variation here. It's okay. There's a little bit of color bleed. Bit there, maybe a little bit over here. And maybe a little bit up the middle too. I'll take a little water and I'll just spread this. Over. Spread this one this way a bit. And spread this one here. Yeah, and I'm gonna add a little bit more of this purple in here. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna just let this continue to dry for a little bit. Be back in a little while. All right, let's continue. So, we want to take our lemon yellow. I'm going to start with that, okay? And what we're going to do is start by dipping it, and just be careful around the blue to begin with. We're going to kind of bring it down here. Okay, now we are going to mix in some golden yellow and also some orange, so just kind of be patient here. Just start by creating the texture here. Okay, and you bring it down. Once we've kind of got it, then we can sort of bring it a little closer to the blue there. The deep blue, which ended up, being a deep blue more than a black, but that's okay because you still get the idea of the form we're trying to create. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cap that yellow, wash our brush, and next we're going to go to the golden yellow. Okay. So we've got golden yellow here. I should only need to dip this probably once. And, I'll get a good dip there, and we'll kind of come in here, start dancing this with the lemon yellow, and bringing this down here. Same thing in here. Kind of dance it up here a little bit, and definitely down in here. Okay, and then down here we'll kind of do the same. There we go. Yeah, that's looking nice. And then I'll add a little bit of touch of orange at the bottom. So we're using a lot of colors, but only a little bit. All right, so we'll get the orange in here. Got orange. Just gonna dip a little here. Actually, probably don't even need that much. But I'm just gonna, just here at the bottom, and kind of bring it up here a little bit. Just in here. A bit, some orange. That's exactly what I'm going for. All right. So now I'm gonna wash the brush. Now this bee needs some legs, doesn't she? I would say so. So let us go ahead and dip into our dark blue, black, again with a chisel tip. Okay, and let's start here. And kind of, and another one's gonna come towards the flower. And even give this bee a little snout. Okay, and one thing is gonna come out. Getting ready to land there. Another one coming. Okay, and then she's got one here, and then another one there. She's getting ready to land. Okay, cool. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of this blue and add it into the stem here just to darken it up a tad. All right, so I think the last thing I'm going to do here is just give a very light wash in the background. And I guess I might use a larger brush for this. Just a very light wash of green and maybe some yellow. So I'll go back to my mixing palette here. What I'm going to do is put a little green in one, a little yellow in the other, and add water to both. And I just want it to be just a very, very light background wash. Okay. Actually, you know what I might do? I think I might do a light background wash of green towards the bottom and then of blue towards the top. So actually what I'm going to do is take green first and add that to one of my cups just a little bit. And then just add a bunch of water to it. I'm doing that off to the side here. Just really lightening this green up. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that whole wash first before I do anything with the blue. And actually I'll have to grab some ultramarine blue, I think. That's all right. So I've got here some light green, very light green, and I'm just gonna, even that's a bit more color than I want, so I'm just gonna take water, and you know, that's just quite enough right there. Yep, just gonna keep taking water and spreading this out. Be careful around the legs and everything. Okay. Now, I know I didn't say we were going to use ultramarine blue, but if you have some of that, go ahead and grab some of that. We're gonna make a mix of that as well. And then we'll do kind of an implication of the sky. So I've got ultramarine blue here. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna just kind of imply the sky in the background. So I'm gonna do one dip there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wash my brush. Now add plenty of water to this ultramarine. Yeah, that's a nice color. Yeah, and then I can just bring that down. It's pretty watery. Be careful around the other elements in the painting because it's so watery. If yours is as watery as mine is, just be careful because the other colors, it will start to liquefy them again and then they'll start running. That's what I love about watercolor is that you can always make it alive again, which you can't necessarily do with something like acrylic or definitely not oils. You know, oils, they will dry and then they're kind of like, boom, done. You can paint over them. You can like fix something that you did that you don't really like. But once they're dry, they're done. And acrylics pretty much are the same too. Okay. Almost done here with this. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I had a little bit of blue here too, just like some variation. A little water, kind of mix that up a little. A little variation in the scene, in the green, in the scene of the green. Yeah. All right, I'm good with that. It's done. So that's all for this painting. Thank you very much. We'll see you for the next lesson. Take care. Bye-bye.